Dungeons. Dungeons, dungeons, dungeons. Cold dungeons, hot dungeons, lava dungeons, forest dungeons, all sorts of dungeons, but mostly delicious dungeons. Let's watch some more dungeon meshy, I think. Let's do that. Let us consume, let us eat of this wonderful thing and let it become a part of us. And in letting it be a part of us, let us all be changed together. I think that sounds like a wonderful idea. Welcome to an anime watch-along thing. And if you haven't been along to one of these before, I'm trying a slightly new format that has been giving me a little bit of technical trouble. Just a tiny bit. I think I have it under control. Maybe. Hopefully. I hope I have. But it should be working. And the way it works is that there's a timer. There's going to be a timer. There's the timer. You can see at the top right corner of the screen, which lets you know where I am in the episode. God damn it. More or less. And you can see the little timer bar on Netflix at the top of the screen as well, sort of keeping you sort of track of where I am. And you'll also be able to see just the bottom bit of the screen where the subtitles are, right? But I'm not going to be playing any actual footage, and I'm not going to be playing any audio from the anime, because that's how you get your shit rocked by copyright lawyers on YouTube. So we're not going to do that. Instead, you're going to get your own Netflix thing up, because you're only, of course, like I know we both agree on this, you're only going to watch anime from completely legitimate sources. Under all circumstances. Like you'd never watch anime in any other way than the exact official way that it was officially released officially. So you're gonna get that, and you're gonna go to the very start of the episode, before the Netflix logo, before the little mushroom man who goes beep, 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 or whatever the hell else is gonna be at the front of the episode, and then I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, go, and we're gonna go together, start the episode together, play the episode together, and then eventually I'm going to run into something that happens during the course of the episode where I'm going to go, oh shit, I need to talk about that, and I'll say 3, 2, 1, pause. I'll do my talking. You will try and stay in sync with me. I might scroll around a little bit between things that I want to look at. And then, once I'm done doing that, I'll say 3, 2, 1, unpause, and you try and stay in sync with me and what exactly it is that I'm doing at the places where I'm doing the thing, right? Does that work? Does that more or less work? I think that more or less works. So with those introductions out of the way, let's watch some delicious in dungeon. Please work this time. 3, 2, 1, go. My God. I have a hotkey set up to press play, and it doesn't do the thing I wanted to do all the time. It's oh hey, new intro. Oh, the visual metaphor of them all getting thrown into the stew pot together and being cooked together into a coherent meal, which is the party? Aw, that's clever. Oh, I like this intro. It's very comedy themed, which, like, after the last few episodes. Party time. Everyone is having a party. And Netflix quality being absolutely terrible is definitely not bothering me at all. Because there are no better ways to watch a Netflix show than to watch it on Netflix itself. There are no better ways. You have no choice. This is the only way you can do it. And it's definitely the highest quality you can possibly get. Marcel in the foreground. Taking a yaoi moment. I love the dog man. Dog man good. Oh, nasty way to go. Namari getting recognized, my. Hey, just leave him alone. Go back to town, you dipshits. Those poor losers. Poor bastards. Oh, poor bastard. Just cannot catch a fucking break. I bet it's like an illusion fog that makes them fight each other. Oh, hey, he saw through it. Good man. Oh, hello. Cover up their mouth? It's nice he gets to have a moment of competence about it. Ooh, I like the look. My. Right. Stick a fork in him and don't take him back upstairs, because like you shouldn't leave that guy just messing around. That seems a little dangerous. Yeah, good boy. They really are doing a thing of like, Kabru has been such a butt monkey so far, so now he gets to be like powerful. Row! Casual relationship with death. Smile on his face. World building. Adventurer's rations. Aw. The Island Lord is being characterized very effectively as an incompetent asshole. It's not Jim Cummings voicing the dog, is it? I like her little thing. She has the little twirling her hair when she's tense. That's a good animation detail. Yeah, they did. Yeah, sure. They really want Kabru to be clever right now, which is fair enough. Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. Oh, hang on. Wait, hang on. Ah! Okay, there we go. I like... Right, here we're seeing the party through his memories of them, like his perception of them. And pay attention to the way that they're framed here, right? Because we know that Laios is like a beautiful autistic boy, right? Like he is a goofball, and he is like just a kid who's obsessed with monsters and food. And he's kind of playful, and he's kind of absent-minded, and he's kind of goofy when he's not trying to be very serious. And yet here he's sort of presented in a way that's a little bit intimidating, right? Like the way that he's like got the head tilted low, he's looking up towards the viewer. And like we know, Fallon is like an absent-minded goofball who barely ever opens her eyes, right? Like she's an absent-minded goofball with like messy hair, but the way that he remembers her is like much more like a mysterious smile looking off to the side, kind of little bit scary looking, right? Like, and I like that as a detail. Then we have Shuro, whom we don't really know that much about yet, who's sort of just there. But then we have like Namari, whom he seems to have a relatively like. She seems to just like, yeah, cool, we're gonna fight. Where the Namari that we know, the Namari that we've met, is someone who's actually pretty damn serious-minded and calm. I don't think we saw her break that much of a smile at all in the episode where we saw her. And then Marcille, we know her as a complete fucking goofball, right? Like we know Marcille as like a trundling girl disaster, who like trips over her own feet a lot, and who's a bit of a nerd, and a bit of a like useless disaster lesbian, commanding great magical power. But like here again, there's this sense of like dignity and mystery to her. Because this is all from his perspective, right? And I like that. I like that there's that little conscious framing of how do we pose the characters? How do we frame them? Well, we frame them from a perspective of someone who's like, oh, these people are like recklessly traveling through the dungeon, trying to... Right? Like, what kinds of personalities would do that? Well, probably people who sort of pose and look like that, which... I like that a lot. Let's see, where's the screenshot of... Yeah, friends. Just classmates. Just gals who are pals. That's all that's going on there. Don't worry about it. Gals who are pals. But I really do like there is that attention being paid to, because this is a lot of this episode. Like, we get a fight scene early on just to kind of have some action and have some stuff going on and sort of showcase that the poor little butt monkey, the poor little keeps getting killed off screen dipstick. No, he's actually competent and he's dangerous. That's the other thing that this scene showcases, is that he's fucking dangerous, actually. And when he decides that someone needs to die, he'll put on just a happy smile. A very cheerful, complete, like, he's got a poker face that'll go somewhere, right? And then once he decides that some motherfucker needs to die... It's like, okay, scary motherfucker all of a sudden. All of that geniality and all of that charm that he's putting on, that just goes away and we get a fairly cold-hearted killer. Just like, so there's a bunch of characterization of him going on also, that like he's quick on his feet, he thinks well, like he's a problem solver who is at least as good at problem solving as Laios. And when he's taking on someone, he is quick, he's efficient, and he's very effective, right? Like, it's no wasted moves here. He just kind of goes, does whatever moves will take down the guy, and then that's it, right? And that's a lot of good characterization happening of him that isn't like, no one spells it out, right? Like, there's never a, like, that's the other thing, like, that's the thing that shonen manga will sometimes do because it doesn't trust the audience to intuit what's happening, is they'll cut to another character off screen. Like, what you would normally expect is they would cut to the party and sort of go, oh yeah, like, he seems very friendly and cool on the surface, but then, like, he's actually cold and a cold heart. Like, they would explain that with a character doing dialogue to each other, to sort of explain what the deal is with this character. I like that the show, at least so, like, maybe they'll do that in the next few minutes, who knows, and undercut me there, but I like that the show, for the most part, just kind of lets that be like, okay, like, now we get it. He has this smile, this pretty boy face thing that he's putting on. Yeah, no, that's a mask. That is a persona that he's wearing, and something entirely different comes out, when when he thinks it's time to end a motherfucker. And his party is super cool with it. They're just like, oh yeah, we just casually murdered 5 people. Sure, like, fuck it, we'll just do that. And there's no moment of like, ooh, I feel bad about this. No moment of conflict. There's no moment of like, maybe that was a little too far. No. Like, just shank the motherfuckers. Get rid of them. No hesitation. And I like that. Like, I think that's good storytelling. Like, I think that's good, effective storytelling to communicate who these people are, who their characters are. Why am I getting emails? Oh, cool. Sweet. Okay, cool. That means I can start doing the other thing. I can start streaming Baldur's Gate again. Excellent. Right, but anyway, back to the episode. We are at 9:36 left. 3, 2, 1, go. Oop, need to get the timer back on screen. Yeah, he is. Yeah, racist. Ooh, samurai. Is that the idea? Yeah, it is creepy. Almost like putting together a meal from ingredients. Ooh, good expression. Oh. Ah. Ambitious little boy. Ambitious, ambitious, ambitious boy. Ah. Oh, hello. Hi, hi, hello. Well, he doesn't look quite as clean shaven as he was. Yeah, no, but hi, Miss Tade. Hello, hello, hi. Oh, you found a pressure point, did you, Kabru? Oh, is there a cat there? That's a funny way to go. Okay. Ooh, new illustrations. No, fuck you. What the fuck are you doing? Get me back to the actual outro, you piece of shit, Netflix. Fuck you. Netflix sent me over to look at some fucking promo for some bullshit I don't want to look at. Oh, new illustrations. Okay. Mostly an exposition episode. Like, again, we're coming down from the first climax of the story. We're setting up, like, the next arc, right? The next thing that everyone's doing, which is, for now, the main party's trying to get back to the surface. And then Kabru has run into to Samurai Man, show something, I can't remember his name. I'll remember it after a couple more episodes. Who is clearly who's, boy, that fella's down bad. Oh, he's down bad for Fallon. Poor boy. Maybe get him a fucking night's rest or something. Oh, Jesus. But who, okay, so clearly he's gone back to his island to gather his retinue, because he seems to have a retinue. He's got an Oni, by the looks of it, which, cool. Also, hello, hi, ma'am. He's got a bunch of ninjas. I like their character designs. And then, is that a cat girl? Is that what he's got going? Is that why Kuro is doing the... Is that because he's got a cat girl? Is that why the ears? Questions. And we get, like I said, the episode does a great job of characterizing Kabru as someone who, like, puts on a face, right? That's the irony of him, like, I want to be there to see it when their mask drops, except you're the one wearing a mask, motherfucker! You're the one doing that! That's you! Like Chiltruck in the previous episode, boy, that's a powerful projector you're aiming at the wall there, buddy. Just, like, absolutely blasting that projection up on the screen. Cause, like, fella, buddy, pal, come on, my dude. It's like, oh yeah, they're the ones wearing the mask. Sure. No, actually, like, Laios is about as straightforward and obvious as anyone could possibly be, but you can't see that because Kabru sort of exists in this, like, seems to exist in this world of everyone has motives, right? Like, there's secret motives everywhere. Like, everyone has some kind of complicated, there's secret stuff going on the surface of everyone. And it's like, he's running into Laios, who's like, no, Laios is just like that. No, there's nothing complicated about him. It's like, about as complicated as a brick of clay. Like, come on. Which I find very funny. That, like, he runs into someone who's such a blank slate as Laios, and he immediately projects onto him, right? This thing of, like, Laios, there's a mask there's something, there's some kind of something going on, haha. But, like, he's not wrong that the Toten's siblings are not leaders, right? In one sense, in the sense that Laios doesn't really want to be leader, right? Like, Laios wouldn't want to be king. That's not really his motivation. That's not really what he's there for. But the thing which is true, or, well, rather the way in which he's completely misreading him is that, no, yeah, Laios is a fucking leader. Like, we know this. We have watched him take this party of, like, reckless explorers who were underprepared through some pretty damn fucking dicey situations and come out on top because of his leadership. Because not only is he good at getting people, like, to work together and do the things that need to be done, he's also extremely resourceful and strong and clever when he needs to be, right? So, no, he has all of the qualities of a leader. It's just, unlike you, Kabru, he wouldn't want to be king. Which again, seems to be part of the point of building out our little our beautiful little boy here as a character is to sort of establish that, okay, with him, we're looking at a character who reflects Laios, right? Like this is a character who acts in some ways as a reflection or a mirror to Laios as a party leader, like because he has the same qualities of a party leader, right? Like he has the same ability to lead a group of people and make them believe in him and make them have faith in him, right? But he does it with a very different aim, a very different attitude, and towards a very different purpose, right? I have a sense that Kabru is someone who, if he felt like the situation called for it, would sacrifice one of his party members, right? Like, if one of his party members died in the dungeon, eaten by a red dragon, for example, I have a sense that Kabru might be the one who says, well, like, we can't risk going to get them back, right? Like, that's too dangerous. He might be the one who kind of makes the sacrifice play. Like, okay, well, we have a greater objective, right? Like, we have a bigger thing we need to do. We need to lift this dungeon's curse and save people, and that's bigger than any one person. So, too bad you are dragon food, right? Not joyously, not with pleasure, not with happiness in his heart overdoing it, but because he believes it's necessary, and that's the quality of a leader, is like being able to make the tough decisions. And Laios would never do that. Like, Laios, on the other hand, like, yeah, Fallon is his sister, but if it had been Marcial or Nemari getting swallowed, I think he'd be down there still. Like, I think he would still be rushing down into the dungeon to try and save them. I really think he would. And I'm not sure Kabru would. And that's not a thing of, like, Kabru is evil that I'm saying here necessarily. Just that Kabru has a different moral compass. Like, he's operating on a different moral logic, it seems. One in which, like similarly, I don't think Laios would have killed those bandits, right? I think he would have taken them out, right? He would have taken them out, and then he would have, like, left them somewhere where they could be found, right? Like, rather than, dump their corpses in the water never to be found again. Because, like, he doesn't want to kill anyone unnecessarily. Like, that's not in his nature. Whereas Kabru has this thing of, like, yeah, no, you motherfuckers are parasites, you have to go. Bye. And is very casual about it. Which is, like, that's the other side of that casualness about death, right? Like, we saw that in the first few episodes, that, like, in the first arc of the show, everyone's real casual about art, like, or about death, right? Everyone's real casual about death because resurrection is available. This is a different kind of casualness around death, which is like, oh no, yeah, killing them was necessary, so I just did it. They just died. They just had to die because of that. That's what had to happen. And also, like, he does, like, the kiss. The only peaceful way to stop a chanting magic user is, well, you cover up their mouth, is what you do, right? Like, I don't think the kiss is necessarily the thing. But the kiss is because he knows her. And he's, like, that to me reads like an act of psychological manipulation. Like, he knows that would freak her out so bad that she would stop, right? So it's more a thing about, like, of messing with her specifically. And that makes Kabru interesting. Like, all of that makes Kabru interesting. Even though most of the episode is kind of just spent... It is just world building. Like, it really is just a bunch of people sitting around world building for the story. It's done better than it is in a lot of shows. Like this is a thing I dislike when it comes to exposition, is the characters sit around telling each other things they all already know. That always sucks, right? Like, that's always unengaging and kind of like, why are they talking about, like, because what you're doing there is you're sacrificing the relationship between the characters. You're sacrificing the... Oh, Jesus, fucking hell. You're sacrificing the dynamic between the characters you're sacrificing the dialogue scene, which is an opportunity to build out relationships and do character building, in order to instead use the characters as vehicles to deliver exposition, right? Like, so a scene that could be about characters deepening their relationships, playing their personality quirks about like against each other, or like establishing a dynamic, or like building out themes or ideas. Rather than doing that, you're using it to have the character, oh yes, and as you know, of course, this world is organized in this specific way with these kingdoms arranged thus and thus and thus. What's clever about this is that this is a scene where each character is sharing something that they know that the rest of the party doesn't know, right? And it's not a thing of like, oh well, nobody, like, someone in the party doesn't know how the world is built, right? Like how the adventuring guild works or whatever. But it's information about other characters. Like, you're building both the characters that are being gossiped about, like Chilchuck especially, being someone who insists that you register with the guild and shit because he's a union man, apparently. Like, being someone who's resented by like a younger, more ambitious adventurer who's like, no, fuck that, I don't want to follow the rules, old man. Which is the other thing, is like he's being characterized as an old man, which is very funny. Like, that's interesting characterization built out for Chilchuck specifically, because that contrasts against, like, what we know of him is that he's an immensely self-sacrificing worrywart who is intensely concerned with making sure that other people are safe and healthy and happy. But that, like, she sees it as, like, in the same way that Kabru misreads the intentions of Laios and Fallon completely, like, just completely gets them wrong. Like, the other halfling misunderstands Chilchuck completely, because there's this assumption about motives, right? Like, this assumption about a baseline greed, a baseline selfishness, which is exclusively material rather than emotional, right? Because, like, Laios and Chilchuck are emotionally kind of selfish, right? Like that's the funny thing about Laios, is that he's emotionally quite sort of self-serving and inconsiderate of others at times, because he gets so caught up in his fixations, right? And Chilchuck is, like, emotionally selfish in the way that he just cannot, like, he runs out of the ability to allow other people to take unnecessary risks. Like, I cannot handle you taking this risk. I can't stand it. Emotionally, he can't handle it, so he won't, like, so there are times when he tries to. That's the thing where his decision is to try and lie to Laios and Marcial to get them the fuck out of the dungeon, rather than speaking to them honestly, because he just can't stand seeing them run into more danger. But at the same time, he's selfish. He doesn't want to surrender his ego in order to deliver that message, right? Like, he doesn't want to show that emotional vulnerability. That's a form of selfishness. Not an evil, like, again, not saying that they're evil for that. That's a completely understandable, like, apprehension to have. Just that it's like there is a selfishness in them, like there is in everyone, but it's not like Chilchuck isn't just out for money, right? And what both Kabru and the halfling person misunderstand is that, like, they have other motives beyond just the simple material, which is good characterization. I really like it. I also like her. And she also has a thing of like, hey, we could probably boil that. Oh man, how is what's his name? Samurai man, sword boy, noble lad. How is he gonna react once he actually finds Laios? That's gonna be very funny. Anyway, they're trapped and they're gonna die. So that's probably this series probably gonna be over in just a second. So here, I guess we have the young adventurers from the first stratum, that the party rescued, the elf and the boy running away from some ghouls. And here we have orcs. I like the orcs a lot. They're cool design. One of the things, by the way, orcs being based on pigs, right? Like, or having, like, porcine features. That's in part is that's one of the Dragon Quest influences. That Delicious in Dungeon shows, right? Like, this is not a Lord of the Rings orc, right? Clearly. This is like, it comes from Dragon Quest and comes from, like, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, who did the character design for the orcs in that game, that went on to be just massively influential on the way that Japanese high fantasy thinks of the orc as a baseline, where, like, rather than, like, the Blizzard sort of Warcraft orc that we see here in the West, or the Lord of the Rings orc, like, we get this sort of porcine-based version of the character design, and that's a Toriyama thing. Like, that's one of his many legacies. I see the party running into the living armors and electrocuting them. I mean, I guess that works, as long as you stay the hell away from them. Lovely illustration. I love these illustrations. They're so good. Poor Namari being asked to carry the old lady, and then him being asked to carry the guy, the tall man? Or is he just being pushed up the stairs? I think he's just being pushed up the stairs. Seems grumpy about it, though. Samurai Man's party, just having a nice little stroll through the dungeons. Oh, hello. Who do we have here? You haven't been introduced yet, but y'all seem to be elves. And last time I saw elves, that was on a ship in the intro of the old intro for the series, of elves on a boat who might be coming towards the dungeon because they want to take it over. Is that who you are? Are you like the elf delegation that's coming to the island to try and take over the dungeon? A little meal break. Love the lighting. And then just a bit of crystals and ice and snow, I guess. Unless there's something at the bottom there. I felt like I saw... Oh, Fallon. And then, our dear Dungeon Lord, who in character design, by the way, I should really have talked about that in the last episode, who in character design is like, does not look like a final boss, does he? Like, especially with, like, the dark circles under his eyes, how exhausted he seems, how stressed out he seems all the fucking time, like... Boy, that's a person who hasn't had a good night's sleep in like a while. How stressed out he seems. Doesn't really seem to be having that good of a time being the dungeon lord, right? Like, he doesn't really seem like your stereotypical big bad evil guy who's like, I am the dark lord of the dungeon and I am taking over the world. Like, he's not really having fun being dungeon lord. It's more of a tough thing that he seems to be doing for reasons that aren't entirely clear. Hanging out with his chicken friend. I'm sure it's a chicken, right? Yeah, it's just a normal big chicken. Just a large chicken. Lots of nuggets from that one. That's all. And wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if you were not a monster? Then we wouldn't have to wait so long. And then that book, right? So the book clearly being the source of the Mad Mage's power, right? So I'm wondering about the design of the thing with the wings on it. Because one thing is, you see that little figure 8 eye thing at the center? The Mad Mage's eyes did that. When he really started going off on them. It got that little figure 8 shape in the pupils. So presumably, there's something going... I don't know why I turned into Sylvester. Suffering fuckatath! Presumably there's something going on with that book that has some kind of something in it. Some kind of the magic does something to him. One imagines. I wonder. Also, I kind of need to know. The English voice cast. Hang on. That's the Nebenbesetzung. That's German. English version. Okay, give me. Kabru settling on information. Die at home. Oh, it's Keith Silverstein. Okay, because like the voice that is being done for Kuro sounds like it has an awful lot in common with Jim Cummings doing Pete, right, in the Disney cartoons. Like there's a similar cadence to it, so I thought it was him for a second. But no. Oh, Corey Burton is there. Man, you see Corey Burton around in a lot of stuff. And of course, Sungwon Cho, who's voicing Senshi. Why is he not credited as Senshi? Oh, because he presumably also did other voices. Ah, that'll be why. Okay. Anyway, I love this show. I'm having a good time with it. We're not back in Drive Me Insane with Sakuga territory yet. Clearly, they're cooling down a little bit. But I'm sure we'll get back there soon enough, so yeah. Netflix, please leave me alone. Don't copyright claim this video. Very annoying to deal with, and I don't want to deal with it, so don't do that. Bye.